What did you feel when you pulled the trigger?
I felt powerful. I thought I was just going to shoot to injure her. Why would I shoot her at all?
This boy is 14 years old and he's just murdered 2 innocent people at a gas station. He's about to go into chilling detail about the murders, from stealing his mother's car to finding his victims, and how he felt when he murdered those 2 innocent girls. The following footage has been analyzed by a criminal psychologist in order to fully understand the twisted mind of Michael Swanson. On November 16, 2010, Kathleen Webster came to the horrifying realization that her car and credit card had been stolen. Immediately, she could have only suspected her teenage boy, but she could have had no idea what events would transpire during the night. Michael Swanson took her Jeep down Highway 18 in Algona, Iowa, before deciding to call into the Crossroads gas station at around 9 p.m. to commit his first ever armed robbery.
What time did you take the car? What time did you leave the house?
It was probably about midnight.
Okay. Took the bag and this was just the jacket that you wore in the gas station?
Yeah.
Okay. What color is that jacket?
I got army jacket.
And what about the ski mask? Was that in there, or did you pack that too?
I got coming out of the cabin. So I took that out of the cabin, I took like that, and like some on and stuff. It was really cold out.
Okay. So you left about midnight?
Yeah.
47-year-old store clerk Vicky could only watch in terror as Swanson robbed her store with a deadly weapon. She complied with all his demands, but her efforts to escape with her life were futile, as Swanson decided that there could be nobody left alive to identify him and shot Vicky at close range, needlessly taking an innocent life. An hour later, Swanson walked into the Come and Go convenience store in Humboldt, a 30-mile drive from the first scene, and fatally shot 61-year-old Sheila where she stood. Before he could go on to find another innocent victim, he was apprehended by the cops and brought in for interrogation. What he revealed in the interview room shows a boy so corrupt that he was not only capable of killing again, it was almost a guarantee should he ever be set free. Even worse, it would slowly become clear that all of this could have been prevented if they had listened to the warnings from his parents.
Are you on any medication right now?
Yeah.
Huh?
They talk about putting me on like a Abilify or bipolar.
Okay. So you're not taking any medication right now? Did you go to a doctor and were you diagnosed with being bipolar at some point? Okay. When was that? Do you know?
A month ago.
So are you supposed to be on some medication?
They've been talking about it. They just don't want to make it jump right now.
Okay. So you haven't been prescribed anything?
They just talked about putting me on Abilify.
Okay.
What was probably going to happen.
He talks about being prescribed Abilify, which is an antipsychotic medication that is used to treat people suffering from schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, and other mental health disorders. Michael had bipolar, but was diagnosed far too late to prevent what he'd go on to do. While of course a small percentage of bipolar patients go on to become criminals, patients are 3 times more likely to engage in violent or criminal activity than people without a psychiatric illness. And when you bring substance abuse into that mix, the rate is 20 times higher instead. Already we're starting to see signs that Michael's actions could have been prevented if he'd been given help earlier. But as the interview continues, you'll see that this was the first of the many, many ways in which the system completely failed Michael and his family.
Any other medications you're supposed to be on and anything?
I took Adderall for a while, but I'm hearing more.
Okay. What do you take that for?
ADHD.
Adderall is a stimulant that is used to treat ADHD and could have helped Swanson to overcome some of the negative effects that come with it. Had Swanson taken medication to help his state of mind, and it's possible these murders could have been prevented? His doctors at the time think so. After evaluating Swanson, he wrote that there was a large concern about his use of force, and that the likelihood of him repeating his crimes is extremely high in the absence of antipsychotic medication. It's baffling that as Michael's delinquent behavior increased, medication was never considered.
And when did you quit taking that?
Like 3 years ago.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. What about any alcohol or drugs? When's the last time you drank some alcohol?
Yesterday.
Okay. What did you drink yesterday?
Some vodka.
How much did you have yesterday?
I had to look at the bottle. It was in the car.
You have a full bottle in the car?
Yeah.
Okay. So whatever's left in the bottle?
Well, there's 2 bottles. One of them was almost empty and I drank that one. That's the other one. It's like half full.
Okay. So you drank maybe half a bottle of vodka yesterday?
It seems Swanson has chosen his own form of medication, drugs and alcohol. And on that night he murdered 2 people, he downed half a bottle of vodka. Remember the statistic from earlier? It's starting to become clearer and clearer what caused Michael's murderous rampage.
So in terms of drugs and alcohol, you feel okay to talk to me today? I mean, you understand what we're talking about and everything like that? Okay. So it's been at least a day since you've had any alcohol, and it looks like, what about drugs? Have you had any drugs?
And mine's got another lockup, so I was making 2 months. So
It's been a few months since you've had any?
Yeah, so it's like July, so there ain't drugs.
Okay, okay. So what was the last drug you did back in July?
Just marijuana. I was doing a lot of stuff, so.
Okay. Was that before lockup?
Yeah.
Okay, what were you doing before lockup? And I'm not doing a drug investigation here or anything.
Like pretty much everything. I was doing ecstasy.
You said acid before, were you doing some acid?
Yeah, so mushrooms.
Okay.
This like helps.
Okay. So you don't want to do an experiment again?
I've done drugs for a long time.
Oh, really? Since how old?
That's what, like 12.
Really? Okay. Did they give you any treatment or anybody ever give you some help for it?
I was locked up in the hospital like 4 times, and then like I did some outpatient stuff.
That's some tough stuff to beat, isn't it?
But I never really tried to beat it.
Okay. First of all, you gotta hit bottom, and you gotta reach that point where you want to try.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes people a lot longer. You're still pretty young now. So, yeah, I've talked to a lot of people that have been through that, and it seems like they gotta fight, and eventually they hit the point where they want to get better, and you're probably not quite there yet.
Just 12 days earlier, Swanson left the Hennepin County Homeschool Correctional Center for Troubled Teens. This would be his last chance for help after years of disturbing behavior that made him an all too familiar face in the juvenile justice system. He was there because he was involved in a hit-and-run accident after he stole a car and lost control at the wheel. Things started to look up for Swanson as during his stay in incarceration, he was well behaved and was even rewarded with an early release. But before that release, staff spotted something in his room that left them deeply disturbed. They came across various forms of writing, and each one talked about violence and death. This caused such a stir that they canceled his early release and ordered an immediate psychiatric evaluation.
When's the last time you slept?
Like 4 days ago.
4 days ago?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess sometimes I just can't sleep at all. And like other times I sleep way too much.
Okay. So you haven't slept in 4 days?
I fell asleep a couple times I was driving, about always like 6
Okay. Tonight you mean you fell asleep, or when?
like today, yesterday.
Okay.
After we hammered.
Okay. How do you feel right now? Do you feel tired, or do you feel kind of energized?
I'm awake, but I don't know. That's just kind of weird.
4 days of running on no sleep can have devastating effects on your mental well-being. Reality will become distorted, and you'll feel desperate to sleep. You're also teetering on the brink of sleep deprivation psychosis, and combining that with conditions like bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, as well as a belly full of vodka, well, you know what the consequences were for Michael.
My understanding is that they stopped and talked to you down at McDonald's here in town?
They didn't really talk to me.
They didn't really talk to you?
Put me in the car.
Okay.
Because I don't know, it's like 20 police cars there, so
Was
we're
there?
going to talk to each other.
Okay. Well, I'd kind of like to talk to you a little bit about what happened tonight and stuff like that. Can you tell me what happened tonight? There's, we could just pick a time, like maybe, say 5 o'clock this afternoon.
I don't even remember what happened at 5 o'clock.
Okay. Well, tell me what you did today. Can you tell me what you did when you woke up today? Yeah. Just kind of, just since this morning, kind of nice and slow, where you woke up this morning and kind of what you did today.
Well, like, I'd been in my cabin last night. I drove up there last week. And up north, Minnesota.
Okay.
And I drove back down to St. Louis Park. I was taking up with a friend.
And what'd you do?
And like, I know I was going to get locked up again because I had one probation. So I had a car, I had a gun. And I said, I don't know, I started driving south, back up for Iowa.
And then what happened?
I robbed some store.
Where was that at?
I don't even remember what city it was in.
Was it a gas station? Do you remember what kind? The name?
No.
Okay.
Well, I think it was a coming though, but I don't even remember. I don't even remember what the people looked like.
So you drove down from St. Louis Park tonight?
Yeah.
And what were you driving?
My mom's Jeep.
Okay. And what time did you leave St. Louis Park?
I want to say about 5 o'clock.
When asked to recount the events of that night, Michael leaned forward and seemed to smile whilst holding his chin. Despite saying he's got no recollection of the night, it appears as though he's buying time to provide a detailed account of the events leading up to the crime. In this recounting, he uses casual terms like kicking it, showing how lighthearted he treats such a serious situation. It was clear from the events before the murders that Michael had been planning at least some kind of depraved act, and nothing was impromptu, as he was insinuating.
So it's a semi-automatic one. You gotta put one in the chamber, basically. Okay. And what was your plan?
I keep going south. So that's just what I was doing.
Keep going south, trying to get where it was warm?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're just gonna keep heading south?
Yeah. So, I don't know what town it was. I think this one was the come and go.
Tell me about that.
The clerk was the only person there. So with the mask on, the coat on, I wasn't there.
Okay. So when you pulled into this other town, do you remember the name of it at all?
I think I heard one of the officers say it starts with an H.
Starts with an H?
Yeah.
Okay. I know the officer may have said that, but does that sound right to you?
I don't even remember. Yeah, I'm like, just because he said that, I don't think it was like Hamilton or something.
With no medication and no sleep, it's likely you'd be delusional and not in a coherent state of mind. But the problem with Swanson is that he stole a specific gun for a specific reason from a specific place that he'll reveal soon.
Then like I had the gun and stuff, like I'd go in and I could do something.
Okay. What kind of gun did you have?
A Beretta something.
Okay. Where'd you get that gun?
Cabin.
Your cabin up in northern Minnesota?
Yeah.
Okay. Whose gun was it?
His grandfather's pistol, because he knew it'd be an easy steal.
And he was in a box up there.
Is it your parents' cabin?
And like, I don't know, it's like my entire family's cabin, so.
Okay. So are you assuming that it's one of your family members' guns, or?
Yeah.
Okay. What about the ammunition?
It was all right there.
Okay. Did you have to load it at some point?
It was all in the clip, so I just had to put it in the gun.
You might be wondering why his grandfather didn't wake up and raise the alarm. The simple answer is that he's deaf, making him the perfect target. So now, armed to the teeth, drunk, and lacking the medication he so desperately needed, Swanson embarked on his mission of death.
I don't know, I just need somewhere to go. It's like, I don't know, I just got in the car, I didn't really know where to go. And so I thought I could go out there, I had to go out there.
Did you have a key to get in, or did you have to break in, or?
But usually it was unlocked, and I got up there, and it was locked.
And what'd you do there?
Well, my grandpa was there, but he was sleeping. He's deaf, so I had to get like one.
So he didn't even know you were there?
No.
What'd you do there, then?
Watched TV for a little bit, ate some food, and then I went in the closet, and I grabbed a pop. Got like a little pantry thing that came out, and it's in my grandpa's bedroom. Like all like everybody's gear and stuff was up there, so I got here a rifle and like some case. I looked in the case, and that's where I found the gun.
Okay. So, did you look in the case, or did you just take it because you knew what was in it?
I looked in it.
Okay. And what'd you see?
Well, on the top, there's like 3 clips. So I was like, I picked them up and looked at them, and it was like, he lifted up, and there's like a part underneath. That's where the gun was. I took the case outside. I put it in the car.
The case, the 3 clips, and the gun?
Like everything that was in the thing.
Michael starts to become more confident in his description of events, slowly proving to the detective that he knew exactly what he was doing the entire time.
So when you came in here and you saw that she was the only one there, and then you parked on this side, did you sit there for a while, or did you get out right away?
I got out, I put the mask on, I put the coat in the bag.
Okay.
I went to the bartender with the gun in the bag. I took it out and I put it there. I put the bag on the table. That's what I did. I don't remember what I said, but she put the money in the bag. And she said, I don't remember. Then I shot her. And I left. Just walked out.
Just walked out?
Although he appears to avoid the fact that he knew he was going to kill someone before even leaving the car, he slowly proves this fact as he talks to the detective. He says that he felt powerful, that he didn't care about what he was doing, and that he was full of adrenaline and gratification after the fact. To put it simply, he felt good when he pulled the trigger. In fact, his body language implies that this was still the case in the interview. He sits comfortably in his chair, looks the detective in the eye, and continually proves his lack of remorse. Despite the situation he's now in, he's fully convinced that it was all worth it just for that one feeling. Remember, the clerk didn't struggle at all and complied with all of his demands, yet he still pulled the trigger. The robbery was not a motive, it was a method. All he wanted to do was kill.
You knew you were going to shoot her?
Yeah.
At what point did you make up your mind that you were going to shoot her?
Just thinking, like, I don't know. It's like tying up loose ends. I don't know.
Tying up loose ends?
It's like, so she can call the police. She can like point me out.
Okay. She won't be able to identify you, would she, if you shot her? Okay. So when you were still sitting in the car, did you know that you were going to shoot?
Yeah.
When you left the car, you knew you were going to shoot her? Okay, so when you walk in, can you tell me about any conversation that you had with her? You told her to put the money in the bag?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you say anything else?
No, I think she just put the money in the bag. And I shot her. I think. I don't remember anything else. I don't think she said anything, but I don't know for sure.
Okay. Do you remember, did she put her hands up like this or say don't shoot or anything like that? Did she plead for her life or anything?
No.
If she would have, at that point, would it have made a difference? I mean, were you going to do what you were going to do?
I don't know.
I'm always curious, how did it feel when you pulled the trigger? I mean, some people say that, it feels powerful or that it's kind of a rush, or what did you feel when you pulled the trigger?
I feel powerful, but like, I don't know, I just didn't care.
Didn't care, okay. How else did you feel?
It had no effect on me. I just didn't even care. I don't know, I just felt like my adrenaline was pumping. I felt good.
How do you feel now? Do you feel the same, or has it changed a little bit?
Not really.
Not really?
I don't know. I just feel like, sometimes people get shot.
You see, from an early age, Michael's parents knew their child was far from normal. Started harassing other children in daycare, lying about being beaten up by other kids, even injuring himself for extra realism. She began to notice even stranger behavior as he grew older, finding him in her bedroom in the middle of the night, cutting a bar of soap with a knife. This was because he hardly slept due to having terrifying, vivid nightmares of men chasing him with knives. His parents eventually had to resort to locking their bedroom doors and eventually took him to a behavioral treatment center. However, they were dismissed and rejected, being told that there was nothing they could do to help them. Even when he was caught with his father's gun at his friend's house, Michael and his family were provided no outside support, leaving them all alone with a killer in their midst.
And where did you shoot?
Around the body?
Yeah.
In the face?
In the face? Okay. Why the face? Did you do that on purpose?
Well, our home, it just seems like it's final.
It was final? You knew for a fact that she'd be dead if you shot her in the face?
More than likely.
Okay. Okay. And why did you want her to be dead as opposed to just be injured?
I don't know. That's like what I'm thinking right now, but I don't know. Back about then.
Okay. So after you shot her, did you see how she fell?
I think she said something when I shot her. Like, I don't know, like, I don't know, she made some noise. And she just fell down. She kind of felt like, walked to the car.
You said that she made some type of noise. What type of noise did she make?
Something like kind of like a half scream, half gasp.
Can you imitate it? I know you can't do it perfectly, but
I just kind of felt like she was surprised. She was like, I don't know.
okay.
Cause I didn't last very long, but I remember she said something.
Okay.
Made some type of noise.
And you said that you walked out of the gas station here?
Yeah. Like, I didn't like even fast. That's kind of like, so I'm doing it in my hand, bagging the hoodie.
Okay.
Walked to the car, got in, drove away.
Okay. Were you worried about getting caught at that point?
Not really.
If Swanson was suffering from sleep deprivation psychosis, then that would explain his unhinged and violent behavior. But as he's already shown, there seemed to be several premeditated moments that seemed to suggest he knew exactly what he was doing.
What were your plans when you left the cabin?
I don't know, I drove back to St. Louis Park and I just kind of kicked it with some of my friends.
Who'd you hook up with there?
My friend Danny, my friend Kenneth. But they didn't know about the car, the gun or anything.
What'd you guys talk about?
I told them I violated my probation.
Which was what, leaving your mom and dad's place?
Yeah.
What did they say about that?
They told me I was stupid.
And what else did you tell them?
I didn't really tell them about like anything I did, because like, they didn't want to hear it.
So you didn't tell them about breaking into the cabin or taking the guns? Why would they want to hear it?
I didn't even want to tell them because like...
He's completely indifferent to the pain and suffering he's caused, and the casual way in which he talks about his crime is enough to turn anyone's stomach.
Were you going to keep robbing places, or what was your goal?
If I had run out of money, I'd probably never again.
How many times did you shoot her?
One time.
Just one time, shoot in the face? I want to be clear. One of the things I like to do is to understand why things happen, and some people will probably ask me why this happened.
I think part of it is because I didn't sleep for like 4 days. I don't want to say that caused manic, but
How do you feel right now?
well, like
Do you feel manic right now, or do you feel pretty normal?
I feel normal. I just feel like I need to get some sleep.
Even though Michael showed all the signs of an insane and troubled mind, he was fully aware of his actions and declared legally sane and responsible for all of his crimes. He was able to describe vividly how his victim fell to the ground, how he held the gun, how he entered and exited each crime scene. In fact, he's almost excited to describe all of this to the detective. He isn't worried about the consequences of it at all, let alone the feelings of the victims' families.
And I figured I was going to continue going down with 69. And like I said, I'd be on Iowa, Fort Dodge, I think it was.
So when you got to Fort Dodge, were you gonna go to another gas station?
I went to a hotel first. But I was going to try and go to sleep.
Michael also mentioned that he was looking for a place to sleep after the murder, further evidence that he was pleased with what he had done. If he's telling the truth, Michael hadn't slept for days before his killing spree, but suddenly became sleepy when he was done, a sign that he was happy, relaxed, and content with what he had done.
When you say that you felt manic, have you felt manic before, or have you been diagnosed with that?
I think that's part of the whole bipolar thing. Like the same thing when I was down 169, I did that before when I got arrested in Missouri.
You did what before?
Stole a car.
But you didn't rob anybody or shoot anybody then, did you?
I had my own money, and I didn't have a gun either.
So if you were manic both times, why do you think you shot this time?
Because I didn't have money, and I had a gun.
So the fact that you had a gun made it, you could do something about not having some money, couldn't you?
Yeah. No, I was just kind of freaked out. Because I hadn't slept for a while, and I started to hallucinate.
When you say hallucinate, what do you mean?
I just always saw things like on the corner of my eyes, and I was always just looking, like, especially when I was driving.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be driving, and I just keep looking out the window, except that there's someone right there.
Okay. Had that ever happened to you before?
And it happens like when I don't sleep, and like it really starts to bug me, like like the headlights. I can see it move, and then like I feel like there's a car that comes straight up at me, and I look, and there's nothing there.
It wasn't just his parents who were at the mercy of his menacing ways. Not long ago, his aunt found him stealing $250 from her. She made him put it back, but when she returned home later that day, she found 2 of her husband's shotguns in the trunk of her car, as well as a hatchet, baseball bat, and a couple of handguns. It wasn't her husband who put them there, as he'd been dead for over a year. So she called Swanson's mother and accused her son of being behind it. Even with behavior like this, his parents couldn't get help. Instead, they were told by a doctor that they should give up on him as he was a lost cause.
Have you ever gone through bouts like this before where you can't sleep?
Yeah.
Yeah? How do you usually handle that?
You just gotta wait it out.
Just wait it out, and then you get tired?
Yeah. Or like other times I get like really depressed, and it lasts for a long time.
During his trial, the defense initially claimed insanity, but maybe after seeing the interrogation video, they came to their senses as they later changed their plea to guilty, and Michael Swanson was sent to prison in 2019 for the rest of his life. But his problems didn't stop there, as while serving his sentence at Coralville Prison Facility, he slashed the neck of another inmate with a knife, almost killing him. He was given another 25 years on top of his double life sentences. Michael Swanson seemed to be failed by a system that's supposed to care, but showed almost no sympathy towards him and his family, as they repeatedly tried to get help, found themselves living with a son that was suffering more every day and capable of turning evil.